For the most part, we were children of the 20s. Citizen soldiers, draftees, and volunteers. Most of us 18, 19, 20 years old. Hardly more than boys.
I joined the National Guard when I was 15. They didn't ask me how old I was.
These are the men you see here before you. It may be hard to believe, but we were once young and strong.
When I turned 18, I received a notice from Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam said, I want you.
There is no way to convey to you the agony, the misery of frontline infantry combat. It was a hell that had to be endured, and we endured it.
It was just that we lost a lot of guys that didn't make it. They were my age, not going home.
My grandchildren sometimes ask, were you a hero in the war, Poppy? My answer is no, but I was in a company of heroes.
Ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire.
Every year, on the anniversary of D-Day, American veterans of World War II gather at the American Cemetery in Normandy, France, to remember all that they and the more than 9,000 soldiers buried here did to change the world. And what would have happened had they not?
From the plains of Poland came the first accounts of a new method of warfare. The attack that strikes like lightning, the Nazi blitzkrieg.
In June 1944, World War II and the future of the world itself were very much in doubt.
French defenses had been utterly shattered. Adolf Hitler had claimed Paris as his own.
Hitler's Nazi forces occupied most of Europe, with no signs of relenting.
You couldn't talk to Hitler himself. In no way. He had a one-track mind, and that was to destroy everybody.
He had it planned that once he took Europe and England would cave in, that he would go for the United States.
The Allies, led by the United States, Great Britain, and Canada, came up with a plan of astonishing ambition. Their young soldiers would cross the English Channel and invade Nazi-occupied France along the coast of Normandy. It was daring and dangerous, an all-or-nothing mission that played out on June 6, 1944, D-Day.
We had one thing in mind. We got to get rid of Hitler and his regime. It was a poison to the world.
Last year, a group of 43 World War II veterans traveled from the U.S. to Normandy for the 79th anniversary of D-Day. All in their late 90s or older, they were among the few still remaining from America's greatest generation, each holding memories of survival and perseverance, of sacrifice and courage. In Normandy, they would add a new chapter to their war stories, making meaningful and enduring connections with the people of France in ways that seemed unimaginable when their trip began.
Come on, jog it up here. Let's go, jog it up here. There we go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, bring it in tight. Come on, bring it in tight.
After I retired, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do.
For those of you who haven't played football, I played 30 years of football, and guess what? It's game time right now. It is game time.
My passion was giving back to those who serve, all of our veterans, thanking them for their service, making sure they're taken care of. Here we are now, fast forward. This is my cause. This is my purpose.
Right? All right? Cool, all right.
Donnie Edwards played 13 seasons in the NFL. 6 years ago, he and his wife, Catherine, founded the Best Defense Foundation, which brings American veterans back to the battlefields where they served.
All right, let's go. Flight 9994 to Normandy is ready to board, so come on board.
79 years ago, you guys did an amazing, amazing thing. You took up arms and you ended tyranny, and we love you all for it. Cheers!
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Normandy.
We're here, we're in Normandy. First veteran we have coming off is Carl Kammer, U.S. Army.
The people were greeting us like you wouldn't believe. Waving our flags, waving the French flags, wanting to shake our hands. I felt honored. That's the word I'd use.
Over the course of their 7 days in Normandy, the veterans received a hero's welcome everywhere they went. The French lining the streets, sometimes 6 or 7 people deep.
Respect, sir.
They were just yelling and screaming and wanted to get our autographs. They wanted to talk to us. I'm telling you, it just lifted you up. You felt like you were a hero. I can't tell you how much the French people love us. You saved our country. That's what they said to us.
I think it's because they were occupied, and the history is passed down from generation to generation to generation about the Americans and the Allies that came and liberated them.
It's a long journey to come across, but it's so important that the veterans get an opportunity to connect with the French people. This is so special. You guys are all showing up year after year after year.
Normandy in early June is like stepping back in time. Everywhere you look, there are American flags and U.S. Army gear. The people here are so appreciative of the soldiers who came to their rescue that they dress up like it's 1944 and rejoice as though they've just been liberated. It goes on like this for a whole week in towns all across this region in northern France. The celebrations are driven by a deep sense of gratitude.
Thank you for the American boys who fought here. It's a special emotion.
For those who crossed paths with Norris Morvant, a veteran from Louisiana who grew up speaking French, one message came up again and again.
Nous transmettrons dans nos familles à nos enfants l'histoire que vous avez vécue pour la libération de la France. C'est quelque chose qui nous tient vraiment à cœur.
Merci. Nos enfants sont très intéressés par la période. Donc, pour pérenniser ce souvenir, c'est très important pour nous.
Ça va être tout naturel pour les gens.
Children in France take great pride in learning all they can about World War II, at home and in the classroom. On this morning, history came to life for the students of Jeanne d'Arc School in the small town of Bayeux.
We always incorporate a school visit. That's the next generation. These are the kids that are actually having that time to say, hey, I met a World War II veteran. I met the liberators.
Going to the schools with the children, they knew who we were and everything, you know. They were smiling and waving at us, you know. It's just like nothing I have ever seen. It was an unbelievable reception. It's so amazing.
We are here today at Jeanne d'Arc High School to commemorate and honor those who fought for us, those who sacrificed their life for us, and those who are our heroes.
What was your position in the Army?
I went in as a $21 a month private, became an officer, and I retired as a major.
How old were you when you landed in Normandy?
About 19.
He was 19, yeah, we're lots of young ones. Yeah.
Do you feel any anger for the Germans?
No, not anymore. I figure they paid their price.
For us, the youngsters, this day will remain in our memories and will guide us in the building of our futures. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Alors dans cette pièce, il y a à peu près 400 objets dédiés à la Seconde Guerre mondiale. J'y passe beaucoup d'heures et j'aime prendre soin de mes objets. Alors ma pièce préférée, c'est un dog tag qui a appartenu à un soldat US pendant la Seconde Guerre mondiale. C'est très émouvant de retrouver ce genre de pièces de nos jours. C'est super d'en posséder une dans sa collection.
14-year-old Gia Karamov is a bona fide World War II buff. He and his 10-year-old sister, Ilya, have turned the garage of their home in Normandy into a museum paying homage to American veterans.
Il servait aux parachutistes américains de se reconnaître dans la nuit. C'est un clic, réponse, et 2 clics. Mais si ça répondait pas, ça veut dire que c'était peut-être un Allemand.
Gia and Ilya's most cherished connection to World War II can't be placed on a shelf or in a case. It's their friendship with Jake Larson, which began a year earlier when the veterans group visited Normandy. Across 5,000 miles, they had been counting the days until they could give their veteran another hug.
Wow, whoa! I've waited a whole year for this, to come back and see you. It's like they're part of my family, and they bring us so much happiness.
How do you feel about them back in Normandy?
It's wonderful because I'm seeing you guys. It makes me happy.
Nous avons entendu un an ton retour et nous sommes très très heureux de te revoir. Tu fais toi aussi partie de notre famille.
Don't flatter me, I'm an old man. I'm a little old man. When we send gifts over there, they send back stuff that they made up themselves. You mean so much for this old man. My God, you can't buy that stuff. You can't buy the love that it shows.
You are a hero.
Ah, no, I'm not a hero.
D-Day is here. Each hour has struck. The world's greatest military undertaking is underway.
Larson doesn't share with Gia and Ilya his wartime experiences. After all these years, they're still too raw, starting with the moment on D-Day when the door of his landing craft opened at Omaha Beach, in waters too high to stand.
I'm worried about stepping on a landmine. They're shooting at us. They're shooting big guns, small arms, all around us. What am I doing here? I'm just a farm boy from Hope, Minnesota.
On beaches called Utah and Omaha, they come ashore. On the murderous sands of Normandy and its rim of watery hell, they push against the gates of Fortress Europe, and the fates of war and freedom await their performance. But for every man there, the new world of Normandy is a world of private agony and chaos.
I get to this little berm right down here. I dig out a cigarette, and I can't find a match. My matches are wet. So I said, hey buddy, have you got a match? I got no response. I looked again, that guy had no head under the helmet.
Shaken by the lifeless body of the American soldier lying beside him, Larson got up and ran, just as the powerful German guns high above the beach stopped to reload. So he survived. Others all around him weren't as fortunate. 2,400 Americans lost their lives on Omaha Beach that day, but the Allies had secured parts of the Normandy coast, gaining a crucial foothold into Europe.
Was the water that rough when you came in?
No, it wasn't this rough. I can remember we landed.
In the days and weeks after D-Day, as the war raged in Normandy, Allied reinforcements arrived, including Andy Negra's 6th Armored Division.
I was probably the youngest one out of a whole bunch, Joe.
You were 18 or 19?
I was 19 years old at the time. And the next thing you know, we ended up in Sainte Marie, England.
Saint-Mère-Église, one more French town liberated than French villages are back in small numbers.
Negra's unit headed through small towns all across France.
Rid of the hated Nazi tyranny, they show the familiar smiling face of freedom.
They were among the first U.S. soldiers to be greeted by the French as liberators, after more than 4 years of Nazi occupation.
Once we get into the little towns, they were out in groves, waving the French flag, waving the American flag. Made us feel good. Really, all of us did.
Negro went on to fight in Germany, where he helped liberate a Nazi concentration camp. Other veterans on the Normandy trip held critical supporting roles, like R. Lester Brown, who was in the 599th Quartermaster Laundry Company, an all-black unit.
My responsibility had to do with seeing that all of the clothes were washed. The laundry company followed the line. So we moved into France, Belgium, Holland, and finally into Aachen, Germany.
George Saros served in the engine room of LST 515, a naval ship that delivered supplies for the front.
We made 62 trips across the English Channel to pick up, unload, and go back, and then load and return again. It would take us a whole day to do that.
Betty Huffman Rosevear was one of a handful of veterans on the trip who served in the Pacific Theater. After her husband was killed in action flying over Denmark, she enlisted in the military.
I was an Army nurse. I went to the Philippines mainly, and especially an island called Leyte. When you're busy and working all the time, you can put some things out of your mind a bit.
A lot of veterans wanted more time to pay their respects to their brothers.
Yeah, 1944.
So when we first got to Normandy, that's what we did.
Look right over here to your right. That's the Omaha Beach, right there. This is right above the cliffs.
Unbelievable.
So happy you're here.
I'm happy I'm here also.
For those who have never gone back, it's just one of those powerful places to be.
Let's put it over here. This guy is lonesome.
All those brave souls that are buried there, they all wanted to live too.
No, okay. Don't forget you, buddy. Don't forget none of them.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
From time to time, I would think about World War II. We landed in France, and what would it be like for me to return to Europe? When I had an opportunity to do that through the foundation, I was so thankful.
I think every American should go to Normandy and to see what our men and women did to change the course of history.
Dad, how great is this? Look around you right now. Look at this.
I don't know how we can transfer that to America, but it's important to understand the history. And I'm just really proud to know that that history is not forgotten in France.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Train coming. I remember my dad bought me my first train, and that was it. And I just loved them. I still love them. Yeah. That's one thing that keeps me going.
They came from towns all across America, helped win a world war, then returned home, where they led meaningful, everyday lives in their communities.
I worked for the post office. I retired from the postal service. I was a regular carrier, had a good route. My wife was a registered nurse, and then we adopted 2 boys.
I was known as a safe and vault technician. I could open vaults and safes, which I did for over 30 years.
I had always had a love for people, and the war did not stop that. I finally said yes to ministry and got my degree and started pastoring. This is the first church that I pastored in Washington, D.C. We had an organ and an excellent choir. Oh, my goodness.
Gumbo's ready, Daddy.
Okay.
Sooner than anyone wants to imagine, America's World War II veterans will all be gone.
Say grace.
You say grace,
Yeah,
Dad?
plus this meal we are about to
But the
take.
time they do have left is spent making new memories with family
Let me give you one of my cards, you'll see when I talk about the foundation, what I'm talking
and
about.
friends,
So how long were you over there?
I was in a little less than 3 years.
and every once in a while, people they don't even know,
Let's extend a warm welcome to George Saros. George is a World War II veteran.
who simply want to thank them for the heroism they displayed so many years ago.
When I'm wearing something that shows that I'm World War II vet, people will see me and they say, thank you. Thank you so very much for serving. And I feel pretty good about that.
Hey,
Oh, look at that.
there's my French family. Hey.
So happy to see you again.
Oh, merci beaucoup. I got hugs and kisses for all you.
There's a place, an ocean away, where the gratitude knows no end, where each year veterans come to revisit their past and leave with treasured connections.
Oh, wow.
We are happy to see you. We miss you very much.
We are family. We are family.
And it's through these connections that their legacy will live on long after they're gone.
I love you, Papa. I love you.
Love
Shut
you.
them, shut them.
I got tears.
You got tears?
Yeah.
It's nice seeing them again.
They're part of us. They're part of us.